What's going on, guys? All right, so I figured today would be the perfect time to talk about mental health. Uh, that'll be the first topic of the segment, weeding out negativity. Because one thing I learned, which I didn't learn till recently, you'd really be surprised to know how many people how many people right now, probably that you know around you, are seeking therapy, are not happy in their own lives, feel trapped, stuck, uh, just things like that. And we see a lot of people complain. We get angry at a lot of people. We get annoyed because everyone's always complaining. But at the same time, it's like if you hurt and you want to take care of yourself, you got to remember you don't know what's going on with that person either. Maybe they hurt more than you do. You don't know what they're going through. So that's the biggest thing, I think. One, with mental health, the biggest thing is if someone's telling you they're having stress or anxiety or depression and they're trying to talk to you about it, there's probably a reason. And you should probably at least try to listen to them. Hear them out, because it'll make them feel better, if anything. Because that's the point. They're obviously trying to tell you. There's two reasons to that. Maybe they trust you, which is a good reason. They trust you, or another thing, they could be very desperate. And don't take that condescendingly. Don't take that in a bad way, because them being desperate and talking to you doesn't mean that they'll talk to anybody. That just means they need the help. It's that simple. They need the help. And I think anyone reaching out, doesn't matter how big or small their problems may be, try to help them, man, because it's hard. It's hard to know how to make yourself happy, especially when you know what's hurting you and you can't change it. I gotta light this a little better. One of the hardest thing is knowing, like I said, it's like, with me, I know the problems that stem with my depression. I know the issues are from my mother, my father not being there, things like that. But it's like, you can know that, but what do you do to help it? That's the hard part, because everyone has different ways to make them happy. That's why I started doing the 100 Days of Sweat, because I was taken out of work for my mental health, and I needed something to motivate me. Something that we're gonna get deep here, guys. Like I said, the same thing I said earlier. It's not desperation. Well, maybe it is on my end. Maybe I desperately need to put out a video to hear from you guys, because you're the only people that really put out positive vibes. So it's like, that's just with me. There's hundreds of people. You'll even see big YouTubers that say, that talk about therapy and their mental health. It's hard. A lot of it with me, my family's never been close. My brother lives away. It's just hard. It's hard to try to. You'd think your family wants to better itself. Why wouldn't you be close instead of all my family moving away? That's what makes it hard for me. But another thing we could talk about is marijuana. Now, besides my depression, what does weed do? Now, I wouldn't say weed helps with my depression or anything. If anything, it makes a lot of people paranoid. I live in New York, so it's decriminalized, but it's not legal. So obviously, a cop could come and take this from me. Someone, if they really wanted to, could call a cop and say, hey, he's smoking in his car, and they could take it. I would get a slap on the wrist and light up another one probably. But the thing about, I know smoking THC is not beneficial. It's harmful for your lungs. I know smoke is harmful no matter what. The thing that bugs me is that where I live, like I can pan around real quick. Where I live isn't like it's not the greatest neighborhood. So it's like, if they could legalize marijuana in New York and literally turn this whole town upside down and make it a thriving city. And that's where I get a little annoyed, because it's like everybody in this town, there's like a handful of people that are actually wealthy, and everyone knows who they are, because they're the only ones in the town with any nice car, and they're the only ones with a mansion. But they don't invest the money back into the town. That's why in our government, everyone here pays taxes, but they don't pave their roads well. The only thing they do is throw salt down in the winter, and that ruins your car even more. So it's like the never-ending cycle. It's literally like going every day about your life right now. Like, just every day, they're trying their hardest to like get any kind of dime out of you. Any way they can pull a cent out of you, any way they can do anything, they're doing it. It's just crazy. It's like you pay for your car, you pay for a ticket to drive your car and a ticket to put on your car that shows you paid for that ticket. And then you pay monthly out of your job for them to pave roads for the schools, all that. And they don't update any of them. And those roads do damage on your car, and you have to pay taxes when you pay to fix your car. And it's like, when is it ever helpful for you? You have to pay insurance to keep your car on the road, but then again, the insurance isn't paying for your car. Like, if your brakes are ruined, or you know what I mean, like, you're still paying for it. You're still paying for the damages, the minor touches up, the oil changes. So it's never, it's like a revolving door of just being broke. Any paycheck you have, I guarantee you, if unless you're middle class or high middle class, unless you're making 6 figures a year, I'll promise you that you probably already know where every bit of your paycheck is going when you get it. Like, you already have it mapped out that first 2 days before when you get it. And we shouldn't have to worry about money like that working so much. And I think that's why so many people are depressed, because a lot of people do work their butts off. They work a lot of hours a week to get the overtime that they're double taxing, because you're not supposed to work so many hours a week, but they tell you have to, and then they're gonna tax you more for it. And it's just, you're losing so much money, and life is so much more than that. But you can't do anything because you have to work. You have to get money through work, and that's the only way, unless you do illegal things, and you can't do that. So it's like, it's so hard, because is America great? Is it really a good place? Because that's not like what the dream was. Do you really think that's how every American life should be living? Working until they're dead, not ever being able to enjoy it? Maybe work from in between 30 to 50, and then from your 20s enjoy, and your 60s to whenever enjoy, or something. I don't know. We shouldn't work our whole lives away. Sweden or Norway does it right. They give the women a year for maternity leave. They give men time for maternity leave. They actually they let you work very short hours a day. They only work 4 to 6 hours a day max. in roughly like 4 days a week, and they still put out as much production as if they would 70-hour weeks. Like, there's a place that's statistically tried it, and that really happened. It's nuts. I'm sorry, guys. It's nuts to think about. One thing that gets me, like, I'm happy that they're finally, like, paying kids to play, like, video games and stuff, and people on Twitch can get money and stuff and sponsored and all that. But the thing that, let some of the smoke out. The thing that gets me is, like, you'll have a hardworking person who puts in a lot of time and a lot of effort at work, and they'll be there for 20 years and only get like a $3 raise throughout their whole life, while this 12-year-old kid is getting paid $1 million to play a video game that, you know, he always said not to play. So it's kind of because he was too busy working. So it's like, what do you do in this life? Because they're rewarding the people who don't deserve it. The hardworking are dying off. People are depressed because we're trapped. It's just, life isn't good for us right now. That's why the people are freaking out in the streets and stuff. I know this is the great thing about marijuana, is it makes your brain just go in so many tangents, so many patterns, so many different ways, and I love it. I think ingesting it with food and the right way, it's so positive for you. And it's proven. It's just, it helps me sleep a lot, That's the thing. Because you guys know my story. You guys that are close, that are sub to me, know that, about how I found my mom. And it's hard, man. A lot of times it's hard to sleep. It's hard to, you dream a lot about it. You have panic attacks, night terrors, and it's just hard sometimes. So this really helps a lot with the sleep. Doesn't help with the gut. I do get the munchies, obviously, but it does help a lot. Maybe I'll add on a munchie munchie mukbang. That'd be hilarious, because I have great munchos that I love to eat. Reese's peanut butter, Reese's Puffs, cheesecake, all of that. Well, this is just like a little, the first video. I know I'm not editing it at all. It's just gonna be a 1-through video, just talking about everything we talked about. And if you guys ever want to talk, honestly, let me know. Because if you ever need to talk about anything, or you ever need someone, I'll be there. I will help you guys, because you guys are doing so much for me. I don't think, I'll never be that YouTuber that does a Patreon or anything like that. I'm not gonna make money off you guys. The only way I will do that is monetization. But you guys help me out so much. I would never take advantage of you guys, just because, one, that's not how I am, but most importantly, you guys are amazing. And I appreciate you guys just listening to me. Even if you only made it a minute in the video, I still love you guys. And if you made it all the way through 14 minutes, I'm going to go 15 minutes. Either way, thank you guys, man. That was just a little ramble. Next week, maybe we'll talk about sports or something. I can't wait to do that munchie mukbang. that is going to be funny. This was just the first one, the first try. I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's just 15 minutes of me rambling, talking. This was kind of a personal, very meaningful topic today. Mental health hits very close to home with, myself, my brother. I know a lot of people going through it. It's just, you never know who's going through what and who needs you. So just always try to help. Even if you're going through something hard, help them. You can struggle and still help others at the same time. It's hard, but you have to. And you guys are awesome. Honestly, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.